What's good, everybody? It is your boy 5 Wars Deep. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the 2K5 Falcons franchise. It has been over a month since you guys have gotten some Falcons content from your boy. If you want to know where I've been, check the top right of your screen. Right there is a channel update. I just tell you guys what's been going on with me. Nothing bad. It's actually all good news. It's a testimony, but I do want to say thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me. I don't know how many people were waiting for this and maybe just said, you know what, I ain't got time to wait no more. But just for that, I will pump out as many videos as I can. And it's going to start with this right here. We're going to recap the regular season. The Atlanta Falcons are NFC South champions for the second year in a row. But it didn't start out strong. It started out pretty weak. We lost to the Saints on opening night, 14-13, won the second game at St. Louis. We started off 1-1, but then fell to 1-3 with back-to-back losses to San Francisco and Tampa Bay. Against San Francisco, we're down, scored a touchdown, had to go for 2 to tie the game up, didn't get it, and then Michael Vick got hurt. We decided not to play him for the rest of the game in Tampa, and we lost. Come back, win 2 more games against Carolina and Seattle, beat Pittsburgh on Thanksgiving, bye week. After that, lost to the Baltimore Ravens, blew a lead at home. Blew a lead at home to the Baltimore Ravens, ended up losing 27-14. And then Atlanta went on a tear. Beat Carolina, beat Cleveland, beat Dallas, beat Tampa, beat Arizona, took back the South, beating New Orleans in New Orleans, beat the Vikings, and then lost on Christmas to the Bengals to end the season 11-5. So it is a 1-game difference from last year in the wrong direction. Went 12-4 in 04, and now here we are in 05 going 11-5. So I hope that means we don't go 10-6 in 06 because I can't deal with that. But we're not talking about 06 yet. We got to focus on 05. Let's take a look at the final standings in the NFC and the AFC. Seattle gets the #1 overall seed because they won and we lost on Christmas Day. So Seattle 12-4, home field advantage. We do get the first round bye going 11-5. Minnesota 11-6, Dallas 11-6, Green Bay 10-7, St. Louis 10-7. Why does it look like that? It's because the wild card round has just wrapped up. So the reason you see a 17th game right here is because all of these games have been completed, and spoiler alert, we're going to play Minnesota in the divisional round of the playoffs in Atlanta. So we will see Minnesota one more time in the Georgia Dome. Who did they beat? That means they beat St. Louis, I believe. Yeah, they beat St. Louis. I don't know who won between Dallas and Green Bay, but whoever won that game is taking on Seattle. The Indianapolis Colts ran away with the AFC. Them guys have been on a tear since losing the Super Bowl to us last season. Peyton Manning reached down deep and said, you know what? I can't do it no more. I refuse to do it. I need to get my ring. Went 14-2, got home field advantage. It wasn't even close, man. Ran away with the AFC. Miami gets the first round bye as the 2 seed. 11-5 finish for them. Cincinnati, they won the North. Denver, they won the West. And the wild card teams here, Tennessee and Baltimore. Stats-wise, the Falcons had one of the worst offenses in the NFL, 31st in total offensive yards. I'm not surprised by that. And that's because we are so slow on offense. Like, we were explosive, but that was because everything we do is so near the line of scrimmage that we have to be explosive as like shocking plays. That's just how it is. Because you look at this, average pass yards, 8.2. What is that? That is second best in the NFL. Second best. But everything else is like really, really low. Really, really low in there. So rushing yards, Falcons were 3rd worst there. But average rushing yards per carry, Falcons led the league in average rushing yards per carry. So it ends up evening out. So we may not have the total yards, but every time Atlanta's running the ball, they're getting at least 4 yards, and that's what we want. So total yards allowed by defense led the league in this. We had the best defense. It didn't seem like we did because we made a lot of mistakes. We allowed too many explosive plays. So it doesn't seem like we had the league's best defense, but we did. We allowed the least amount of first downs. I think we were really good in, 3rd down? Well, I think this is offense, actually. So the Colts converted 70% of their third downs, and the Falcons converted only 48% of their third downs. So, okay, there you go. So we regressed on offense a little bit. And in red zone touchdowns, the Falcons led the league in red zone touchdowns a year ago, but this year it was the Colts, and the Falcons are nowhere on this list. You got to find the Falcons somewhere down here on the bottom half of the NFL with 19 red zone TDs. And then defensively, red zone touchdowns allowed, 30 by the Cardinals. Falcons allowed 8. 8 red zone touchdowns. Now, red zone attempts, I don't think anybody came to the red zone a lot on the Falcons, only 21 times, and that looks like it led the league. 21 is really solid. Like, you don't get inside the 20 on the Falcons. You just don't. And let's see here, turnovers. 30 by the Buccaneers. Yikes. The Falcons had 15, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. That's not the best, but look, it's compared to everybody else, it's pretty darn good. The Vikings, who we take on in the next round, only turned the ball over 8 times. Points off of turnovers, let's see. Oh my goodness, the 49ers had 100. The Falcons had 83. 83. Is this actually turnovers by the defense? I think I might have read this wrong. This might have been turnovers forced by the defense, but it is what it is. Falcons weren't the leader or the worst in anything. Total points allowed, Chargers allowed 406. They were the worst in the league, but the Falcons allowed 199. And then you've got the number of plays here. The Falcons were pretty balanced. 307 passing plays, 324 rushing plays. It's a pretty balanced offense. Very balanced offense. So I like it. I like it a lot. I think we definitely regressed in a couple of areas. We're going to have to address a lot in the draft and in free agency, but I will get to that after the playoffs and after the whole season is done. But for right now, we're just taking it for what it is. Atlanta, look, 11-5. They can win the winnable games, but they can also lose the winnable games. So it's, which Falcons are going to show up in the playoffs? We don't really know yet. Michael Vick finished the regular season with an 88.5 passer rating. He completed 53% of his passes for 2,494 yards. That's 9.5 yards per attempt, 17 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Longest completion was an 83-yard completion to, I think that was Michael Jenkins. He was sacked 32 times. Y'all heard me say it all season. Y'all not blocking. And they didn't. Like, a lot of times these dudes weren't blocking. Vick took a lot of sacks this year. We gotta address that O-line. Have to address it. Michael Vick led the Falcons in rushing, 553 yards, 6.5 yards per scramble. TJ Duckett had 390 yards on 98 rushing attempts. Remember, he got injured, so he had to rely on Warrick Dunn and then went out and got Steven Jackson. Those two had 314 yards and 140 yards, respectively. How many touchdowns? 6 for Michael Vick, 5 for Duckett, 3 for Dunn, 1 for Jackson. Peerless Price, the veteran out of Tennessee, 860 receiving yards, 42 catches, average of 20 yards per catch. And right there with him, Michael Jenkins. I told you we were explosive. And no more explosive than Bill Riley. My goodness, 24 yards per catch, 508 yards, 21 catches. He's the one who had the 83-yard catch and run. I think that was a touchdown too. I don't remember what game it was, but I do remember him doing that. Jenkins had 6 touchdowns. Riley had 4. Price had 3. Crumpler, see, I told y'all Crumpler was going to get the ball this year. 123 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. Dunn also caught a touchdown pass, and so did Steven Jackson. Defensively, I got to give a shout out to Ellis Johnson. 11 years in the league, over a decade in the NFL, 13 sacks as an interior defensive lineman. That's ridiculous. 13 sacks as a defensive tackle? Oh my goodness. Rod Coleman, the guy who lines up next to him, had 5. Brady Smith had 3.5. Brooking had 2. Hayward had 2. Kearney had 1.5. And Riley had 1. And my ends got to do better. Look, my defensive ends didn't even get more than 3 sacks. Brady Smith did, but come on, y'all. And you see, look at the ages here. 11 years, 7 years, 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, 7 years. We got some old guys here. We got some old guys on this defense, and we're going to have to basically retool it. Like, we have to retool this defense. D'Angelo Hall, the second-year man out of Virginia Tech, he's headed to the Pro Bowl for the NFC. He had 8 interceptions, 9 pass deflections. Corey Hall had 4 interceptions, 11 pass deflections. Bob Sanders, who we traded from the Colts, got 3 interceptions this year. Keith Brooking had 2 of them. Stort had 2 of them. Jason Webster had 2 picks. McBride had 2 picks. Estrada had a pick. He's a rookie out of Indiana. And Sean Wooden had a pick. Who else had a pick? Etrick Pruitt even had a pick. My goodness, all these interceptions. I ain't mad at it. I think, is this where the 15 came from? This equals more than 15. Yeah, that equals more than 15. I ain't worried about it. That's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. Picking the ball off. Got to do that in the playoffs too. Jay Feely, 11 of 17 on field goals this year, and his problem is down here. You'll notice it right here. He was 1 of 6 on field goals between 40 and 49 yards. He was fine pretty much everywhere else. 5 of 6 between 30 and 39. He was 5 of 5 between 1 and 29. He made all of his extra points, which is good. But, dude, yo, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. And because his leg don't have the power, we could not attempt any 50-plus yard field goals. Just couldn't do it. But maybe he can stick around. I don't see a situation where we have another kicker with more power unless we go out and get Adam Vinatieri. Like, other than that, I don't know what kicker we could get from this era of the NFL that would be an improvement over Jay Feely. To be honest, maybe Matt Bryant, because we know what he did later in his career, but who knows. And the punter Chris Moore, 17 years in the league out of Alabama. When you only punt 34 times, I'd do it too. Trust me, I would do it too, man. I'd be in my 40s punting in the NFL if I only had to punt 34 times in a season. That's got to be a league low. This dude had more punts inside the 20 than touchbacks. 6 punts landed inside the red zone. 4 of them ended up in the end zone. That's what we need as a punter. That is punting. Elite punting. He should be in the Pro Bowl too. All right, we got to end it the right way. We got to end it the right way. We got to end it by clowning the Saints because the Saints absolutely fumbled the bag, yo. Completely fumbled. You see their record at the top, it says 9-7. Check how they got there. They beat the Falcons, right? They beat us opening night, beat the Ravens, lost to St. Louis, but beat San Francisco and Tampa Bay. They go into the bye week 4-1, okay? 4-1 going into the bye week. Beat Carolina 5-1, beat Cleveland 6-1, 7-1 after Pittsburgh, 8-1 after Detroit, 9-1 after beating Arizona. 9-1. These dudes had a chokehold on the NFC South, and if you go back, you can recall me saying, I don't know if we're going to win the South because the Saints would not lose. And then all of a sudden, L. I mean, just L. All of it. L. Just all L's. Everything. And they missed the playoffs. They missed the playoffs. They went from not being able to lose to not being able to win. It's hilarious. You went from 9-1 to 9-7 and missed the playoffs completely. Epic failure. Epic failure. As for the Falcons, here we go. 3 games. That's all it takes. You win 3 games, 1, 2, 3. You are repeat Super Bowl champions. That's all it takes. 3 W's, and you repeat as Super Bowl champions. And this is honestly the last gasp of this current roster because we got so many older guys. We got to let them retire peacefully. A lot of these guys are going to move on and retire, and they should because they're older. And some of them are going to get cut. And we're going to have a lot of cap space to sign some guys in the offseason. So we're going to have to do a lot of retooling. But while we've got the Ellis Johnsons and the Rod Colemans and the Jason Websters, we need to win the Super Bowl. And we can. We're playing the Vikings, a team that we beat 3 weeks ago. We can win that. We can do that. And I hope you guys join us for that. I really do. If we do it the right way, we're going to be back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and we can celebrate as a 5 Wars family. Until then, it is your boy 5 Wars D. One love.